Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It's a combo set in 1/35 scale and it's named as a Hold the Rope Willi. So you can see here we have 3 German vehicles together with some figures, at least box art shows so, but we will check it later in this video. And kit number is DS3516, so we have a commercial sample here, and it means that's the final shape of this release, and you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video review, so it will be interesting to check what is actually supplied here. And box, I have to say it's quite heavy because of this 3 kits inside, and here is comparison with my hand. I would say it's a standard box size for the diorama sets from ICM. Here on the side you will find some information about the real subject or what was the back idea for this combo set, and we also have some information about the kit. So here we have the parts for assembly of Panther D. There are 418 parts, also 384 parts for Bergepanther, and also 253 parts for Le.gl.Einheits-Pkw, and we also have 28 parts for assembly of 4 figures and 29 parts for assembly of German drivers. So it's quite a package in my opinion, and in 1/35 scale, if you want to combine all this together, it will be quite an interesting diorama. And here on the opposite side you can see these 3 vehicles which are included here, and frankly speaking I do not remember if ICM was actually producing the Panther in 1/35 scale, so if you have something to say about this, write in the comment section, but I'm going to open it right now. It's a matter of cutting through the clear stickers in the box and we will be good to go, so just give me a moment to do so. And in the meantime I can say that ICM also released some other combo sets in 1/35 scale. We reviewed them as well, so you can find it easily on our YouTube channel, and they're quite interesting combos in case you would like to get everything at once. That might be a perfect opportunity, especially considering that it's more or less price efficient, so you don't have to search for a single let's say deal for every of the kits which are included. You just get them all at once in one box, and of course you do not have to use them all at once. You can assemble them one by one, but still it's really price efficient offering which will save you some money. So I am trying to open the box right now. As you can see, the box structure is quite standard for ICM, so it's this color printed top part which usually sits very tight. That's why it was so difficult to take it out. And then we have this sturdy white cardboard box, but as far as you can see, yeah, here you can notice that it's quite a tight packaging, so it will be interesting what is actually supplied here. And the plastic tracks for the Panther, it is quite interesting thing, because again, I do not remember ICM releasing the Panther as a separate kit, but we are going to start with the car vehicle. So it's this Le.gl.Einheits-Pkw. So here we have the parts of assembly to assemble the off-roader, and this is quite an interesting kit because it actually features all the necessary elements out of the box, so we just need to assemble them together. And there are a lot of stuff copied inside, which is also quite unusual even today. Not that many brands actually include some engine parts and suspension parts in the depth which was supplied by ICM. But here, as you can see, we start with a clear sprue which was packed into a separate plastic bag. Molding quality is really nice. As far as I remember, here we are dealing with the open version of this car, because ICM also produced the closed roof boxing. We reviewed it as well, you can find it on our YouTube channel. But today we are going to talk about the open version. So, the first gray plastic sprue, it comes in a pair, and here you can see that we have some parts for the road wheels. These are actually plastic road wheels, which is good. I do not like vinyl tires, and of course these tires look a bit more natural in comparison with vinyl tires. We also have separate doors, we have some interior parts here, some suspension parts. So all this stuff is coming as a standard, let's say, out of the box details, which is really good. Next we continue with the mix of parts for the open roof, so you can also see here the spare wheel, and everything looks fine, but again, do not be fooled by the scale. Some of the parts are really thin and tiny, so you have to be careful with them in order not to break them. But it might be also a good opportunity to replace them maybe with a metal wire, because some of the engine piping is not copied here as far as I remember. So if you plan to open the engine, that might be a good opportunity to use such scratch building. Next we continue with this sprue. I am not sure where it will be used. I guess maybe inside the vehicle. But as you can see, again, we have these thin parts which should be installed somewhere. Next, we continue with the side panels for this vehicle, and these are actually new ones, because here, as you can see, we have the side panels with the rods on the side. Of course, we have the separate doors so you can open them, and here we have also some parts for the folded roof. So everything looks cool, in my opinion. Next, we continue with the large gray plastic sprue. So this one is literally filled with various elements. We have a one-piece main chassis. Here you can see it, and it should actually make it easier to get the right fitment of these parts together. You do not have to work with separate bars, and you just get it as a single piece part. The same can be said about the rear wheel fenders and the interior floor, so you just combine these two together and you are good to go. We also have the separate front wheel fenders. Here you can also see some of the engine parts, but as I said, we have these bonnet parts molded shut. Manufacturer does not offer you a chance to open it, so you have to think through how to open it, how to expose it if you would like to, because it's a shame to hide such features in the model. What I'm checking right now, I'm trying to understand where this sprue will go. I guess that's also for our vehicle. So just give me a second to open it. It was packed into a separate plastic bag, but here we have various parts for the machine gun turret. And as you can see, again, it's full of thin parts. So it looks good, but it might be tricky for some modders, so definitely use the plastic saw, not the plastic cutter, because plastic cutter will just damage the parts and then it will be really difficult to fix it. Next we continue with the Panther parts. And here comes quite an interesting thing. So here is the first plastic bag. And as you can see, we have the plastic tracks. So just give me a second to open them, so that we can check everything together. I can see that this is actually a Bergepanther, which is a repair version of this Pemmel's tank. But it's also quite interesting modification, which should look impressive in the 1/35 scale. So now I just need a bit of time to get everything on my table. So first of all, you might notice the one-piece top hull cover. We have it molded together with track fenders, and we have all the hatches molded separately. I am not sure if there will be some interior. As far as you can see, there are no engine parts included, but still we get this engine bay panels supplied separately, and overall molding quality seems to be fine. As you can see, the panel lines, they're not that deep, so maybe it would be a wise idea to rescribe them in order to get a bit more pronounced, let's say, lines on your model. Next, we continue with the lower hull section. So this one is also molded as a single piece part, and that also a very smart parts design, because basically you just combine these panels together and you have the lower section, but here you get it as a one piece part, so you do not have to be worried about any unnecessary problems with alignment. Next, we continue with the top, let's say, crane, which will be installed instead of the turret. So here we have some wooden inserts and also some parts for the crane. Note that we have also wooden texture here, so it might be a wise idea to replicate the weathering, and it will look quite interesting in my opinion. Next, we have pair of parts for the drivetrain, so just give me a second, I'll show you only one because we have the same parts on it. And here you can see the road wheels, suspension arms, and everything looks fine. Of course, with the road wheels you have to be careful while painting it, because obviously there are no masks supplied, so you have to do everything one by one. But this tedious work is, I would say, somewhat typical for German tanks, so there is nothing surprising for it. And next we continue with the more panels for the main hull. So here you can also see the rear armor wall. We have also the side fenders. We have also some panels which were molded separately, Pioneer tools, and everything looks fine in my opinion. It should be okay for out-of-the-box build. Obviously, this is not a full interior kit, so do not expect all the elements copied out of the box. And the track links, they are supplied on 4 plastic frames. And I will show you only one because they are basically the same. So here they are. Let's zoom in. Here you can see that these are separate tracks which should be combined together, and here you can check closer what we have actually pre-molded here. Now I will just give a look. No, so there are no pins whatsoever, they're not movable or flexible, they should be glued in together, and that's why you have to plan in advance what's the, let's say, position of the vehicle on your project, in your project. Next, I'm opening the plastic bag with the figure sprue. So here it is. These are typical ICM figures, so they should be good looking, but you have to pay attention while joining all these body parts together because there are no guiding elements whatsoever. And the overall sculpting looks fine, and we also get some armament and equipment out of the box. As you can see, even helmets are applied. Next, we continue with the Panther ALSP-D. So this is a tank, this is not a repair version, and you can see that it comes in a separate plastic bag. So again, I'm going to open it as well, and we will take a closer look together. So just give me a moment. Okay, so first of all, the hull parts, obviously they're the same, so here is one and here is the second. Maybe what we can try in this case is to combine them together. As you can see, the fitment, even the dry fitment, is more or less fine. There are no possible issues. Obviously it will be also fixed with a liquid glue from you know who, so that the plastic melts together, so that's why you won't have any issues. But I mean, what I see here is really fine and should be easy to combine together if it will be like this with all the parts on the lower section. Next, we continue with the, let's say, new sprue, which is dedicated to the turret parts. And here, of course, we have all the hatches molded separately. It would be strange to see otherwise, but we have the main barrel molded out of 2 hulls. So I would rather replace it completely with a metal aftermarket, because in this scale such upgrade will be noticeable and it's completely worth it, because it will provide you with a bit more realistic appearance of your tank. Next, we continue with drivetrain parts. As you remember, we are getting them on 2 identical sprues, so they are absolutely the same as what we saw on Bergepanther. Nothing different here. Okay. What's next? Another sprue with hull parts, or hull parts. As you can see, we have the rear armor wall molded as a one piece panel, but here we have the installation points for all the storage boxes, also exhausts and other things which are usually placed on the rear of the Panther. And next are the track parts, which are supplied in form of this black sprue. So as you can see here, we have again these separate track links. In my opinion, this is a really good thing because you won't have to deal with vinyl parts, and that also means a bit more convincing appearance in a 1/35 scale. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag. Here we get figure parts. So just give me a second. Here is the first one. And again, molding quality looks fine. Maybe I will zoom in here so that you can see these figure parts a bit closer. As I said, sculpting looks fine for a 1/35 scale. And you just have to pay attention while joining all this stuff together, because even here we do not get any guiding elements whatsoever. Next, we continue with another plastic sprue. So this one is also dedicated to figures. I guess these are German officers, and as you can see, again, we have pretty much the same parts division, and it's just, I would say we have the different uniform here, different poses. Obviously poses are pre-shaped, and there are no alternative options, so you are fixed to one only. Next, we continue with the assembly manual. So this one comes in a really nice folio. So if I zoom out here, you can see what I'm talking about. It's a set or collection, let's say, of the assembly manuals here. You can see that we have the separate manuals for the vehicles. We have also separate manuals for the Panther, and they are coming from the single releases of these kits. We did not review the Panther, but we reviewed, for example, the Le.gl.Einheits-Pkw with the anti-aircraft gun on it. We also reviewed the German tank crew in 1/35 scale, so all this stuff is here. And if I, for example, take this assembly manual, there should be some decals inside. Yes, here you can see that these are pretty much standard decals for solo releases of these kits. So this kit should be already available, and by the way, here on the rear side you can see suggestions how to combine the figures together with vehicles. And as for the whole kit, it should be already available in Modelimex, for example, but I would recommend to hurry because these are somewhat limited releases. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such set. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.